Hey everyone, it's Charlotte from Teaching 2 and 3-year-olds. Tomorrow we start our first in-person day of the school year, and it's pretty crazy because almost exactly a year ago, it was March 13th, 2020, I believe, that we said goodbye to our children. We had no idea that they weren't coming back. We found out that night that school had to be closed for what we thought was going to be 2 weeks. And now here we are almost a year later, but we get to come back in person. And it gets me really teary-eyed just thinking about that this is finally happening. We have been waiting for this for so long now. And for those of you who are new to teaching 2 and 3-year-olds, I have been teaching virtually since we closed school last spring. And in fact, I have a whole series of videos that I started from September until now. You can see snippets of all of my virtual meetings. And I knew that eventually we would be getting to this point. I just didn't know when. And so I feel right now like it's the night before Christmas. And I was gonna wait and just do everything tomorrow morning before the children arrived, but you guys all know me and there was no way I was gonna do that. So I had to come in today and put some finishing touches on the classroom. So I just wanted to remind you that whenever we set up the classroom for back to school, even if it's in March, I always keep it really simple. And then as I see that the children are ready, I add more. So I have had to remind myself of that as I'm setting up for tomorrow, because it's the first day of school in March, so it's a little strange, but the same things have to apply. I want to have the children come in. I want to see how they use the environment, how they handle the materials, and then I will tweak. And I will either add things or remove things as I watch how they use them. So the way that we're starting our in-person is we're going into a hybrid mode. And that means that we will only have half of our class in the classroom at a time. So normally we have 10 children in our 2 and young 3-year-old class. And so we are going to break that up so that on Tuesdays we have 5 children and on Thursdays we have 5 children, because as I said, we meet normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we're going to break them up and have half and half. And then on the days that the children do not come to school, they will get a video from me that is a little story time that they'll get a link. It's on a private YouTube channel. It's just for our families. So if their day is not to come to school, they can watch that video. So they'll get a chance to have 2 different things each week. We're hoping that once we come back from spring break towards the end of this month, beginning of next month, that then we can have all the children come back. But we need to see how it goes first before we do that. Now I'm lucky because mine is the last class to come into the room. So our pre-K class, which is our 4 and 5-year-olds, they started a month ago. So they got a feel for it first. Then our 3 and 4-year-olds came in 2 weeks ago and they started, and now we're starting. So I've been able to see how it's been going for them to get an idea how it'll work for us. So I'm going to show you around the room and give you an idea of how our classroom is set for our first day. Our theme is rainbows, and then next week we'll move into having some more St. Patrick's Day activities. So again, what you're going to see is a very simplified version of what we would normally be doing in March, and that's because it's back to school in March. So this is our dramatic play area, and we have some rainbow trays, and we have some different colorful pretend food that is the colors of the rainbow, and then we have some different bowls and dishes and things like that. And then when you look over this way, you'll see, if you've been following my classroom setup videos for a while, you'll see that we have moved things around. And the reason is that we had to add more tables to our room because requirements are that we just have 2 children at either end of the table whenever they're doing seat work. So because we had to bring in some more tables, we needed to move some things around. So that's why it looks a little bit different. You'll see that our train table is now over near our sink. That used to be where we did art. And then we have over to the right, we just have a little shelf there with some of our blocks and cars as well. Our light table is still where it was before. And then our easel is still where it was before. We've moved our drawing rack over, so now it's right next to the easel. Our sensory bin is still where it was before, and we just have some blocks that are in there. We can't use anything like sand or rice or anything in our sensory bin right now, so we just have some blocks in there. They can take those blocks out, they can put them on the floor to stack, they can stack them in the bin. And then we have a little table that eventually we'll use as our writing table, and then you'll see that we have our little reading area. Now that's something else that has moved. It used to be over near the window, and we used to have cabinets over here. But again, because we needed more space for our tables, we moved out the big cabinets that used to be here, and actually I really like it. It creates a real cozy little corner. And we also moved our family board over to the wall that's near above where our little seating area is in our book corner. That used to be over in our dramatic play area last year. The year prior to that, it was where our tree is now. So you can kind of see that we like to move things around, but we really had to this year to accommodate all of the tables. Our science and exploration table is where it was last year, although we have had that in different areas of the classroom depending on the year, but it's where it was last year. It's in a nice little corner, and we just have some different color paddles and some little different color viewers that the children can explore different colors. And then you can see this is another view of the room. You can see that there are you can see how two children are sitting at that table right there. And I have it set up right now. When the children arrive, they will put their water bottles are going to go in those labeled little baskets, as well as they each have their own little pencil case that will go in there that will have their own set of markers, glue if we need it, watercolors, whatever, that will go inside their basket. I have a tray right now at each of their spots because when they come in, we have almost an hour of free choice centers time, and they are invited at any time during our free choice centers time to do an art activity. So I have a tray, and they are going to be gluing different colored pieces of felt that are the colors of the rainbow onto the cardboard. For circle time, I have our board books in a little basket, just like I always do, because as I call the children to the circle, these books are in the middle of the carpet, and they can pick a book and they can sit down on one of the mats that provided. Now normally I've been just having them sit on the carpet. I wanted to try doing the mats this year. If it doesn't work, I'll remove the mats and they can just sit directly on the carpet again. I'm just gonna see how it goes, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't with this age group. So they'll get a book and they'll look at a book until I start circle time. And then when I do start circle time, I have everything in this little bin here. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I loved my circle time basket. And unfortunately, my circle time basket broke. But that was okay because right about the time that it broke, all the handle just fell apart. I used it so much. I then realized I can just use one of the bins that's here in this shelf unit. So in this bin, I have everything I'm going to need for our circle time. So I have the books that we're going to read, and then we have our instruments. Now we're going to be using these rainbow bells, and I love these. I love that it's perfect for our rainbow theme with these streamers, and then they can just hold them and shake them. So that's going to be a fun little music and movement activity. And I will drop a link to these books and the songs that we're going to sing in the video description, so make sure to check that out. So that's how we have our classroom set up for our first day tomorrow. And like I said, it's very simple, It's as though it's September, even though it's March. The children have never been in this room before. The only thing that's different is I think that transitioning to the classroom is going to be easier than other years because the children have gotten to know me through the screen. Even though it's not the same as being in person, the parents have told me that their children feel like they know me and they're excited to come to school because they've been seeing me through the screen now since September. So I'm hoping that will make things like maybe some separation issues a little bit easier. But this is new to me. I've never done this before. This whole year has been new to me. So I really don't know what to expect tomorrow until it happens. I am really excited because it looks like we're going to have nice weather, so we can spend some time outside in our brand new play area, which we've been waiting and waiting to be able to use. So I will share more about how our first week went in a separate video, but today I just wanted to kind of give you you all said you wanted to see how I have the classroom set up for back to school in March, and so here it is. So I will share more with you again soon. Thanks for watching.